Welcome back to the Deep Dive and our Teacher Voices series. Today, we're focusing on something really fundamental. Our mission here, working with evidence-based teacher development, EBTD, is, well, it's about connecting the dots, taking solid global evidence on classroom talk and figuring out, okay, what does this actually look like in a school in Bangladesh?
Yeah.
How do we make it work?
Exactly. And the scene is pretty familiar for many teachers, isn't it? That rhythm, teacher explains, students listen, it works, it maintains order.
It definitely maintains order.
And this is the crucial bit. Local studies, from Brexit, campy universities too, they all point to the same thing.
Which is?
That interaction is mostly lecture, mostly recall. So learning tends to stop at remembering. It doesn't often get to the deeper reasoning.
And that's the gap, isn't it? That's what we're diving into. We really want you, listening now, to have this kind of aha moment with us.
Which is?
Talk is thinking made visible. If a student can't say it, can't explain it, have they truly learned it? Probably not fully.
Yeah.
So today, we're moving past just the why talk is good. We're getting practical. We want you to understand the proof, yes, but also get concrete steps. How do you actually redesign lessons for dialogue?
Even with the real constraints. The big classes, maybe fixed benches, the time pressure, it's all very real.
Absolutely. So our deep dive is about the evidence, sure, but mainly about that practical roadmap. How do you turn that sometimes necessary silence into active, visible thinking?
Okay, so let's start with that reality check. Those observations, they consistently show the teacher does most of the talking, maybe 80%, sometimes more.
And when students do talk,
It's often, chorus answers, yes, teacher, or maybe one-word answer, recalling a fact.
quick and efficient maybe, especially with 60, 70 kids.
Exactly. It's efficient for coverage, it feels controlled. But the deep thinking, the connections, that stays hidden, locked inside their heads.
And I think it's so important to acknowledge that's a sensible response from teachers. It's not that they don't want depth.
No, absolutely not.
They're managing a difficult situation, maximizing control, maximizing speed to get through the syllabus.
But the evidence for adding structure talk, even small amounts, is just so strong. You mentioned those pilots in Dhaka.
Yeah, the inquiry-based learning ones from 2025. The results were, well, pretty remarkable.
What did you see?
Students just blossomed. They were more confident, they worked together better, and crucially, they got much, much better at explaining why they thought something was right. The reasoning.
And that ties straight into the science of learning, doesn't it? People like Mercer, Alexander,
Yeah.
the EEF syntheses.
Tell us the core idea there.
It's basically this. You don't fully grasp something until you try to explain it to someone else. That act of articulating it, forcing yourself to say what you know and why.
It changes things.
Massively. It improves, first, your actual reasoning, how you solve problems. Second, things like self-regulation, staying motivated. And third, just basic language, vocabulary, confidence.
And for the teacher listening, and this is maybe the killer point, talk is like an instant feedback loop, a formative mirror.
Explain that.
Well, when you're lecturing, you're kind of guessing what they understand. You hope they're getting it. But when they start talking to each other or explaining to you...
You hear the misconceptions immediately.
Exactly. You hear the gaps, the half-baked ideas. And you can adjust right then. You don't have to wait for the test next week.
That's incredibly powerful for responsive teaching.
So the message isn't stop lecturing or ignore the exams. It's about adding these small, reliable, structured talk routines.
Routines that work with the pressures, not against them. Enhancing learning without losing control.
Okay, so if we agree talk is good, the next hurdle is, well, the room itself, right? The architecture challenge.
If every chair faces the front, that's where the attention goes. That's where the thinking is directed, towards the teacher.
And research backs this up. Rows versus clusters.
Yeah, generally rows are better for that focused whole class input, but clusters, or even just pairs facing each other, dramatically increase peer interaction.
But we can't just rebuild classrooms. So what's the practical fix, especially with, say, heavy wooden benches?
It's about managed flexibility. Not chaos, but planned shifts. We need, maybe, 2 predictable ways of using the space. Let's call them home mode and active mode.
Okay, define those. What's home mode?
Home mode is your standard setup. Students facing the board, maybe in rows, maybe pairs. Its job is clear.
Yeah.
Whole class teaching, teacher explanations, modeling, keeping things orderly. Standard practice.
Got it. And active mode.
Active mode is the shift. Students physically turn to face peers, maybe small groups of 4, maybe just turning to the pair behind them. The only purpose is structured talk. Collaboration, problem-solving, discussion.
So the physical change signals a mental change.
Precisely. The body posture shifts, the expectation shifts. Now it's time to talk with each other.
I remember that great example from Kulna, I think it was class 7, fact versus opinion.
What did the teacher do?
So simple. Just said, okay, turn slightly to the pair behind you, discuss. Minimal disruption, massive impact on dialogue.
But let's tackle the big worry. 70 students, heavy benches. How does that quick turn into active mode not just become noisy chaos? 15 seconds sounds optimistic.
Fair point. What's the key?
Routine, routine, routine. And absolute clarity in the instruction. It has to be non-negotiable and practiced. Like, active mode means odd rows turn 180 degrees. Even rows stay still. One student moves their stool, silence during the move.
And you practice that.
You practice it until it's automatic 3 times, 5 times, until it genuinely takes under 15 seconds. Predictability creates safety. Safety allows thinking.
So the structure enables the pedagogy.
The structure is part of the pedagogy here. It's not just furniture, it's managing the learning environment.
Right.
So we've managed the space. Now, the skill itself, talking productively in a lesson, it doesn't just happen, it has to be taught.
And the key technique here is modeling.
Absolutely. Modeling by the teacher is huge. The EEF estimates that focusing on oral language, including modeling how to talk and reason, can add something like 6 months of learning progress. It's significant.
Okay, so the EBTD guides break down modeling talk into active ingredients. Let's zoom in on maybe the top 5. What can teachers start doing?
Okay, first, clarity. You have to name the skill. Don't just say discuss. Say, today we're practicing giving a clear reason. Watch me.
Be explicit. Got it. What's next?
Visibility. Make your own thinking visible. Narrate it. Okay, I'm looking at this diagram. I notice X, so I'm thinking Y might be the cause because don't just jump to the answer.
Show the process. Number 3.
Repetition. Use the same simple routines again and again, that classic think, pair, share. Or, okay, 40 seconds to talk, now swap roles. Make the routine boringly predictable so the thinking can be exciting.
Okay, predictability again. 4th.
Safety. This is huge. Start small. Whisper partners. Low-stakes questions. And critically, model your own mistakes sometimes. Oops, actually, I misread that. Let me rethink. Shows it's okay not to be perfect instantly.
Normalizes error as part of learning. Love that.
Yeah.
And the last one.
Purpose. Why are we talking now? Students need to know. Is it to brainstorm ideas? To check our understanding before we write? To challenge each other's assumptions? Talk needs a clear job to do.
And that purpose connects directly to metacognition, right? That whole plan, monitor, evaluate cycle.
Exactly. Talk is how metacognition becomes visible, audible. You can't see them planning in their heads, but you can hear it when they discuss their approach.
Let's make that concrete. You mentioned a secondary science example from Dhaka. Large class, fixed benches, evaporation.
Right, 65 students. Teacher wants them to move beyond just saying heat causes evaporation to explaining how.
So how does dialogue drive that cycle there? The plan, monitor, evaluate.
Okay, plan stage. Teacher starts in active mode. Quick think, pair, share. From yesterday, what's a good first step when predicting something like this? Activates their planning.
Okay, then monitor while they're working.
Teacher circulates. Uses microprobes, those tiny targeted questions. Not, is it right, but how will you check if that's accurate? Or hearing one student, Amin, say, it's the heat. And Shamima challenges.
What does she say?
Something like, okay, Amin, but how does the heat change the water particles? Explain the how. That challenge pushes the thinking deeper.
That's the learning moment, spurred by the peer interaction.
And that's where having the right language tools helps. You need to explicitly teach and model this.
Like what? Give us examples.
Modeling active listening. So, Amin, you're saying heat is the key factor before replying. Modeling reasoning. Have stems visible, like on a poster. I think. Because. Make them use it.
Okay. And modeling respectful challenge.
Crucial for safety. Teach phrases like, I see your point, but I'm wondering if, or I see it differently because, delivered calmly. Tone matters.
Okay, that's a lot, though. Structure, probes, stems.
Yeah.
If a teacher wants to start tomorrow, what's the absolute one thing from this design phase with the biggest initial impact?
Honestly, the reasoning stems. I think. Because. Just getting that visible and creating expectation that students use it in active mode, that single change forces a shift from just answering to explaining.
Simple, but powerful. And the final stage, evaluate.
Closing the loop. End the lesson with an exit talk. Quick pair discussion. what did you figure out today? Or what explanation did you change and why was that better? Makes the learning stick.
Okay, so we've got the why from the evidence, the how with structure and modeling. Now let's talk implementation, the roadmap for actually making this happen day in, day out.
And let's be clear, implementation isn't about perfection first time. It's learning in action. Expect bumps.
Absolutely. The key is a plan. So, phase 1.
Phase 1, explore diagnosis. Cannot stress this enough. Don't skip this. You have to know your starting point. Observe lessons. Honestly, roughly estimate how much teacher talk versus student talk.
What happens if you skip it? You mentioned Gazipur.
Right. A school jumped straight to use more open questions. It fizzled out. Why? They hadn't diagnosed that students lacked the basic sentence structures, the reasoning stems, to answer those open questions well. They needed modeling first.
Diagnosis first. Got it. Then phase 2. Prepare. Focus.
Focus is key. Don't try to do everything at once. Remember that DACA school trying 4 new routines overwhelmed everyone? Pick one thing. Maybe just think, pair share with reasoning stems.
And set a clear goal.
Yep. Something specific, like by the end of term, students will use I think, because in structured pair talk for at least, say, 25% of the lesson time. Measurable. Focused.
Okay. Diagnosis, focus.
Yeah.
Then phase 3, deliver, test and refine.
This is about practice and support. Think coaching, not judging. Short observations, maybe 5 minutes. Are they actually doing the pair talk? Are the stems visible? Is the teacher making sure quieter students get a chance?
Keep it supportive. You had a Rajshahi example.
Yeah, the head teacher made a point of leaving just one piece of positive specific feedback after each short observation, focusing only on the target routine, like using the stems. Participation apparently jumped 30%. Positive reinforcement works.
Small actions, big impact. Okay, but how do you make it stick? Phase 4, sustain the habit.
It needs to become part of the system, not just one teacher's heroic effort. Embed it. Maybe add a mandatory talk step box to the standard lesson plan template, or train student talk captains, little leaders in groups whose job is to prompt peers. Remember to use because. Gazipur found this really helped keep it going. Hashtag, tag, outro. So, wrapping up our deep dive, we've journeyed from the why, the evidence showing talk builds reasoning through the how, using structure and modeling, right to the action, that practical implementation plan. It's all about making student thinking audible.
Visible and audible. And, it strikes me that this isn't just about students. That research you mentioned, Debnath's 2025 work.
About leadership.
Yeah. It showed that top-down hierarchical school leadership really limits teachers talking and collaborating with each other.
It absolutely does. If we want classrooms buzzing with dialogue, we probably need staff rooms that value dialogue too.
So if leaders want teachers to foster talk, they need to model it themselves.
Precisely. When leaders genuinely listen, ask probing questions, reflect openly before deciding, that builds trust, that builds collective belief. Transformational leadership in action.
Okay, so here's the final thought for everyone listening. We've talked about how structure and modeling help students articulate their reasoning. Now think about your own professional life this week. What one small change could you make in your own conversations with colleagues? Maybe asking one more question, pausing longer to truly listen, or sharing a challenge you're facing more openly to make your thinking and the thinking around you just that little bit more visible.